Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sabansi, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Today, we got a hilarious show for you guys, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to hit all notifications to be notified the second we publish our content on YouTube so you don't miss out. Let me get into this topic here. About 2 or 3 days ago, we got the news that Paul Pierce was going to be a regular guest or whatever it is on Undisputed. And with this news, I was intrigued to see what it would be like with him there. Now, I'd seen a previous show with him, well, I guess it was like a pilot or something. I saw that one. But I think yesterday, Monday, was when he made his official debut on the show. And they discussed a lot of things. They talked about various teams and the Bucks, Damian Lillard, and all of that. But of course, they were going to discuss the Lakers and they were going to discuss the Golden State Warriors. So yesterday, I tuned in to see one of the clips, and I'd seen this after we actually finished working on our content yesterday. So I tuned in and they were talking about essentially what were the key factors in the Lakers loss. So I click on the clip to see what the segment was all about. As I'm listening to the segment, Paul Pierce started to speak like the prototypical NBA fan who was watching what they're seeing objectively and basically calling it like it is, right down the line. What you see a lot of on television is a lot of people triangulating. You see a lot of people twerking it up all over the place. There's certain people that avoid saying certain things, but Paul Pierce came on there and he was essentially calling it out and saying what a lot of us think, but really there's no one on television to say it. So when it came time for him to talk about the Lakers and the Warriors, boy, he didn't hold back. And he really went in a very candid and let me say candid and organic way that you seldom hear people talking sports, especially on television, do. So what we want to do is I want to play what Paul Pierce had to say on the show yesterday with Skip Bayless and Keyshawn Johnson, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what Paul Pierce had to say yesterday.
I mean, stuff happens, Skip. I mean, the shot clock, whatever, the replay, I don't like replay anyway. I think they need to do away with it. I think it takes too much time out of the game. Yeah, you want to get it right. You got 3 referees. Somebody has to get the call right. You know, and I think I've been a victim of replay in my day to where I thought I got a shot off. You can't even tell because the high resolution wasn't even that high.
You talking about on LeBron's? On LeBron's shot?
Yeah. So I think you just take the replay out because it slows up the game. It messes with the fan. Like, I had to stop watching. I went to the bathroom, got a cup of coffee, and I just lost what I want to feel.
But can you remember 4 stoppages off shot clocks malfunctioning?
Never. It just seemed like something.
I've never seen that.
Well, that's whatever technically was wrong, I mean, you really can't control that.
You have a backup and it malfunctioned.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Wiring or something was wrong.
I don't know. But Keyshawn, it's the Lakers. Come on, first they mess up the language on the Kobe statue. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Now y'all I'm just a punching bag for the Lakers right now. There's Paul here and you here, so now we go.
I don't even know why we talking about the 10th seed Lakers anyway. Like, why are we even talking about them?
Touche.
Like, why are we talking about the 9th seed Golden State Warriors when there's other teams out there that needs some light put on them?
Well, you played in the NBA for like 20 years.
Like, I'm tired of the Lakers. Yeah, Lakers going to lose. LeBron's going to get 40. He's great at getting his stats. But the truth of the matter, Key, when I've been watching the Lakers this year, yes, LeBron's been great numbers-wise, but LeBron got to take a step back. And he got to take a step back.
And do what?
He got to get the ball up a little more.
Yeah, I buy that.
No, listen. He's averaging, since All-Star break, look at his numbers. 29, 9, and 7, 57 from the field, 45 from 3. It's not resulting in wins. When LeBron sat out, who'd they beat? Milwaukee, a contender. D'Lo had 40. They went to Boston and got a win without LeBron.
But don't do this, though, Paul.
Well, it's the truth.
It is the truth.
I think he's older. he needs to take a step back. The less he does, the more it's going to be for the team. And that's not a bad thing.
Are you saying take a step back in terms
like
of
he's too ball dominant?
Yeah, but
he's too ball dominant. He need to let the reins go. He need to let D-Lo go. He need to let AD go. Reeves. It showed when they played, their two most impressive wins in the last 2 weeks have been Milwaukee and the Lakers. And LeBron didn't play in either one of them.
Boston. Yeah,
I mean, in Boston.
Yeah, right.
LeBron didn't play in either one of those.
That Boston was last year.
At Boston.
Last year, man.
You don't go in Boston and just win.
Yeah, but Boston.
Reeves looked like the next Larry Bird without LeBron. I mean,
and by the way, Keith, to his point, in the fourth quarter the other night, LeBron got up 8 shots and he made 5. But the point was,
it's not resulting in the win.
Austin Reeves took 1 shot in the fourth quarter the other night and made it, and that was it.
But whose fault is that?
Because LeBron is ball dominant.
Is that the players on the court fault, Paul, that they just say, here you go?
He got a stranglehold on the offense. I think you could really release this offense if he did a little more swinging the ball, passing, maybe set some screens. We don't need LeBron to get 30 like in the past. I think the less he does, the more for the team, and I think he's got to unlock these players. We're going to make an excuse for the Lakers, like, oh, they need more. No, they don't. You got good role players. You got D'Lo. Reeves, like I said, you got Anthony Davis, who's a top 10 player.
But the role player shoot. Just last night they shot 26%.
They don't got no rhythm. If I'm a role player and I'm sitting there all game and I don't get the ball till 2 minutes left, I'm really just getting cardio.
Yeah.
Like, that's hard for them to get a rhythm.
I'm not going to lie to you. When Paul Pierce was talking, I'm not going to lie to you, I was laughing. I was really, really, really laughing my ass off. Here's the reason why I was laughing my ass off. The reason is because Paul was saying things that a lot of us think, but no one in the media, for whatever reason, refuses to point out these things. He spoke about the fact that while we always talking about the Lakers and the Warriors, a lot of people wonder the same thing. Not just, NBA fans that maybe be jealous of the team, but just fans in general all over the United States and the world. They're like, bro, what about my team? What about the Nuggets? What about this team? What about that team? Now, obviously, we know that the media is going to cover these teams because they're big market teams. They have a lot of people in these markets, so obviously they're playing about the numbers. And these teams have huge fan bases, so they're basically talking about teams that they feel will generate a lot of income for them, and talk about players that they feel will do the same, and Stephen Curry and LeBron James, who have historically proven that to be true. So there's that aspect. But there's the other aspect where some people are like, yo, but these teams are not any good. If you take away the play-in tournament, these teams aren't even playoff teams. So why are we talking about the team? Now, is Paul Pierce the first person to say this? No. I've actually heard Charles Barkley on NBA on TNT say that. I've heard Kendrick Perkins complain about this. I've heard Michael Wilbon complain about this, right? They complain about it, but they know they're still going to talk about them because they got to pay their bills. They got to make their money because they know a lot of people are interested in them. That's the first part that surprised me, how he was saying it. The second part, and you could hear Keyshawn just saying, Paul, don't do this, which was this. He said, LeBron got to get off the ball more, man. He got to give up taking up all of these shots. Like, I understand that he wants to get his stats, but his stats are not leading to anything. And there's some real truth to that when he brought up the examples. But you could also look at what transpired last night. Last night, the Lakers played against the Atlanta Hawks. They were able to get a victory 136 to 105. And if you look at that game, they shared the wealth. D'Angelo Russell had 27 points. Austin Reeves had 12 points. Anthony Davis had 22 points. LeBron James had 25 points. Rui Hachimura had 17 points. And if you look at the field goal attempts, LeBron and AD both only attempted 14 shots, but D'Angelo Russell got 14 shots. Now, obviously, he made 6 out of He made 6 out of his 10 3-point attempts, but nevertheless, they were spreading the wealth, right? And they had a much more balanced attack where you couldn't just key in on 2 star players in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So they spread the wealth, and it worked. last year when they made that push to the playoffs after they made those trades, LeBron wasn't there for a considerable amount of those games, and it was really Anthony Davis that was leading the way. If you look at LeBron's field goal shooting attempts this year, he's averaging 18 shots per game. Last year, he was averaging 22.2 shots per game. And I think Paul Pierce is saying this is not resulting in wins. It looks good on the stat sheet, but it's not resulting in wins. He also brought up another point, which was when he was talking to Keyshawn, he's like, let's be real. Like, this year was just going to be about LeBron hitting 40,000 points and basically setting the standard for players at an advanced age. And these are things that you don't hear anybody else saying on television. You won't. You will never hear somebody on ESPN talking like this. You just won't. And I think the reason why Paul Pierce is needed on that show is because it provides a balance. If you're going to say, well, he's a hater, fantastic, fine, let him be a hater. But the fact of the matter is there are too many supporters out there. And all these guys do is just push narrative after narrative after narrative after narrative. Is it okay for you to push a narrative? Sure, if you want to, no problem. But if you're going to be able to push a narrative, somebody should be able to push their own and provide a counterbalance. What some of these guys don't want is a counterbalance. They just want it to be one particular way. And that cannot be the case. You know, some people ask us, oh, why don't you ever say anything positive? You got all of these dudes twerking it up on TV, man, and all over the internet with these creators. What you want me for, too? Like, yo, y'all trying to collect us like goddamn infinity stones, man. Like, let me live, son. Let me live. Like, yo, get off of me. You already got these dudes. You already got you running around with these dudes. Let me live, son. I don't want no honey. I'm good. I'm chilling. Like, let me do my thing. So I thought it was interesting to have Paul Pierce say that, but I don't think Paul Pierce was breaking any ground. Paul Pierce is saying what a lot of people have already said. The only difference is he was saying it on television, where you seldom hear somebody go up there and give that perspective. It never happens. It never. And that should speak volumes to what the sports media landscape is, because I personally believe that the messaging is very, very controlled. And there's certain views that they want out there, and there's certain views that they don't want out there. There's certain things that people want to touch on, and there's certain things that people do not touch on. Don't get it twisted. People have decided we're going to talk about this, and people have decided we're not going to talk about this. Look at the Balco situation. Look at what Kevin Garnett had to say. Look at what Chael Sonnen had to say about. Nobody touched it. Nobody touched it because they all agreed we're not going to talk about this. So there's certainly a consensus out there. So whenever you see someone come out and pierce the veil and actually break through and say something different, a lot of us like, whoo, what a breath of fresh air. I was reading some of the comments under that video, and some people are like, wow, finally somebody's not bought and paid for. That's what a lot of fans think about you guys on television. They think you guys are bought and paid for because a lot of you guys say basically the same thing. Nobody has a different view. Everybody thinks the same. Everybody feels the same on the same issues, on these different issues. So I thought it was good. Now, of course, people are going to call me a hater. I don't really care. If you're calling me a hater, it means you're watching. So that's on you. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.